morning, sunshine, and this is the Divine Matters of the Heart channel. I have this is my new segment that I have here, Ambassadors of Love. I will have interview some of my spiritual friends that I know that share the love of understanding of us getting into union and is really on team union with self and then also getting with your person. And like I said before, if you didn't see on my other video where I chose her also to take her video and to put my 22 cents to it. And it was the one about the rules, like really take the rules and just throw them out the window. They no longer serve us on this journey because again, that gets us in our head and not into our heart space. And like I said, for her, I call her my reporter on the street because she always tells me about the different energies that's going on. She also tells me about the karmics. She helped me to have a newfound way of looking at karmics and looking for more positive spin instead of saying, "Oh, if I catch them on the street, I'm gonna run them over. I'm gonna run them over again, and I'm gonna put it in reverse, and then I'm gonna run them over again like Suge Knight." But she's like, "No, that's not what we do." We love them. We show compassion to them. And I thank her so very much for that value because that again, coming from that place, love you and love me too. Coming from that place, that starts more karma. And she's the one who had bought me about that too. I forgot we should talk about that too, as well. So but I just want her to just kind of introduce herself, just tell you a little bit about her channel and a little bit about her gifts and how her flow goes, and then we'll go a little bit of more into conversation, a little bit more about her latest video that she did about the rules and how that came about. So just introduce yourself, Bonita, to the folks.
Hello, I'm Bonita. My channel is Wave of a Beautiful Warrior. Um, like Bertina, Divine Unisoul is there. I am a DM advocate, and I am a clear channel. Uh, gosh, I don't even know how to name all the gifts because they keep coming in.
Right.
I have clear knowing. I know what I know. What I know. I don't know how I know it. Clear audience. Gifts with numbers, sacred geometry and stuff. Telepathy, telepathic communication. Evidently songs, because it's not only my DM I get song messages from, I get them for the collective. And family dynamics. My connection was blessed with the dynamic of the marriage template and kids and everything. We didn't have soul recognition until 2015, and that didn't even wake us up enough to get the signs, which led us into dark night together. And from there, since we weren't getting the signs, Source stepped in, brought us in a soulmate third party, and soul shock and ascension and all that started happening last year, kind of like fast tracked, I guess, because Source was done playing around with us.
Yeah, that's what it do. Say, okay, I'm gonna give you a swift kick in the beep beep.
Yeah.
Together. So yeah, so
Mm-hmm.
that comic will come along and kind of wake you up and say, okay, I think we need to do something different there. What's
Yeah.
your definition? You said soul shock. This for the newbies that's on here too. What's your definition of soul shock? What is that?
Um, it's funny because when I was talking to Jupiter 1111 one time, she's like, "That's a great title to a book."
It is. It really is.
Okay, I didn't realize this what was happening. I actually, when it started happening, within weeks after it happened, it was within about 3 weeks, I went into fight or flight reflex, which it spurned the rejection to, within that 3 week span of period of time, it was like a rapid Kundalini awakening. The ascension started, and then that was just the spiritual, and then the connection ascension started happening. And in layman's terms, in medical terms, it's literally called heartbreak syndrome.
Oh, okay, okay.
The many people associate it with dark night. but from what I've found talking to others, it's actually it Dark Night is in there, but
Okay.
it's like more. It literally feels like your heart's being ripped out. You go into fight or flight mode. You either fight or you flight.
Okay.
For me, I flew. I walked for 3 weeks straight. Couldn't eat. Cried. Um, it was
It was living hell.
yes. There's no way I would never wish it upon somebody I would consider my worst enemy. And I can't even stay mad at a third party coming in. So
Right. Sure, yeah,
um,
that's how long that's gonna last with you.
yeah. Yeah, 3 weeks. I stayed mad for 3 weeks.
Right now. That's
But yeah, it's devastating. It literally feels like you're dying. And from what I understand, the research that I've done, other people that I've talked to that have gone through it, it's like a soul death. It's more than an ego death that happens with the Dark Night. It is a soul death. Your soul is screaming. It's already been telling you, "Hey, I'm sick. You're
right.
having this happen, this happen. This is where you're literally having a soul death, and you need to do something." And I remember towards the end of it, I couldn't sleep, but more than an hour or two at a time. And I would wake up. And when I would wake up, I would wake myself up crying out, like literally screaming, "I don't want to be here anymore. I don't want to do this." And it
Okay.
wasn't that I wanted to die, even though, that is kind of there. I'm
Hmm.
gonna admit, I've been on, at that point in time, I was on the bathroom, floor with a bottle of pills at one point in time. If it
Oh,
hadn't been for my DM's niece texting me, yeah, but then again, source has its ways.
right. That's true.
But so many times I kept waking up screaming that, and I didn't understand why, where that was coming from. What was I meaning? And it took months for it to register to me that was my soul telling me, I didn't want to do this anymore. This crazy cycle going round and round and round. It wasn't healthy, and my soul was done. It was taking over. That was it.
Okay, okay, yeah, because I said, oh, and I see why the spirits like delve into that a little bit more because that's interesting about the dark night of the soul. You that the difference between soul shock and dark night. So what I'm hearing you saying, the soul shock has more so about the soul, and the dark night has
Mhm.
more so a breaking of your ego,
Mhm.
those
Yeah.
things. And so again, that ego thing, you know it when you like you say my pride was hurt or something like that. That
Mhm.
soul thing is like really like I just don't feel like I can breathe. I don't want to be here, like you
Mhm.
said. You just really feel like like almost walking around like soulless, like the spirit of those things
Yes.
that motivation that gets you to going is just like
Yep.
I can't do it. I just really can't. I
Yep.
can't do it anymore on that one. So yeah, that's most definitely. Where did you? And I forgot about that saying about the karmic things, but moving into that again. Where did you? How did you come to that terms? Because a lot of times I know even on my channel, I try to talk about the karmics, and they don't get that understanding that again that once upon a time that divines can be karmics, and then again karmics come in and step in, the divine step in to help as the role of the karmic for the progression of the growth of the relationship. How did you come about that understanding? I mean, I'm like my mom. Instead, they keep on hearing it from me. Let them hear it from somebody else. I mean, what is the role? What is the role of the
Yeah.
karmic and everything? Because they're not getting it. Not the way I'm
Um,
explaining.
it came in piece by piece.
Okay.
Um, with ours, she is the same age as our oldest daughter, and she came in um, needing, needing. There were, and I didn't see it at the time. I saw my fear was coming up, and I've said it multiple times. I literally manifested her in with my words. Your words have so much power.
Oh yeah.
Because I was saying everything that was going on that wasn't going on, that and eventually started going on.
Okay.
um, but the little bit of stuff that I was being told by different people about her, after that 3 week of craziness when I
Uh-huh.
started coming down from it is when I started getting the enlightenment on it. And I didn't even realize what was happening. It just the light bulbs started going off. And it
Okay.
wasn't until later that I even realized that that's what was happening. But I realized why, he gravitated towards her. First of all, she's, a very close energy match to me.
Okay. That's
She
good.
when I Yeah, when I look at her a lot of things with her past, her situations and stuff like that are almost a mirror image to stuff that I had gone through.
Mm-hmm.
I would say, she is me now, what I was 20 years ago, only, I hurt myself, whereas, she did it outwards.
Okay.
Hurt people hurt other people, and including ourselves.
Right. True.
And with that, when that started coming in, I remember when it finally, shook me and just completely went down in my core. I was actually in the shower, that beautiful element of water.
Mm-hmm.
And it was about the only time that I could get alone time, if that, because the kids come barreling. I had to put boundaries up with that. Either way, I had drug it was a big shower, so I drug a chair in there and I had candles in there, and it was like that was my meditation time. I knew I needed it. I didn't know what I needed it for. But I remember with the shower beating down on me, and I'm like, I'm so angry still, but I'm coming out of it and I'm able to actually see her.
Okay.
I
Okay.
can see past what she's done. I can see the things that I've done because
Okay.
I'm not innocent in this either. And I went, "Oh my gosh. She's me. I'm so angry at her, and she's me. She's been through a lot of the stuff that I've been through." And when that realization happened, I went, I can't be angry at her like that anymore. She's a person. She's a human.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the way she went about was wrong, but she's a human. I can't have hate in my heart for her. And that was the start of it. And after that, I mean, it was probably within 2 weeks, like I literally had fallen in love with her. And it was weird at first because I'm hearing everybody, trashing the
Mm-hmm.
parts. And after that, and it within that span of time is also when I started having things popping up on YouTube, things I'd never watched before, readers and this, that, and the other. And I'm starting to really understand the connection. And I'm hearing everybody trashing the counterpart, the third parties and everything. And all I'm sitting here is with all this love in my heart for, so it was a little bit weird at first because then I started on the tangent, especially with the age gap between them. Well, wait a minute. What if I'm the karmic and they're supposed to be together? Oh my God, me loving him, is that hurting their connection? I don't want to hurt their connection. So
Uh-huh.
that was another tangent, I kind of had to go through and everything. But it was just coming to the realization that hurt people hurt other people,
Okay.
hurt people hurt themselves, and everybody is human. We've got to look at everybody as human. Everybody's a soul having a human experience. And a lot of times in situations like this, they're brought in to help. Because if it hadn't been for her, I thanked her higher self before I thanked my DM's higher self. Because it was her that opened that door.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, they have a hard time. I mean, the times I get slammed and thumbs down when I talk about the karmic and their role that they come in, and you just don't know. And how dare you say that divines are karmics? We're not. We're divine. Those are two different things. And I was like, I was like, okay,
Weren't you karmic before you became divine?
right. You just
I know I was. I will freely admit it. I
right.
still have
That's
tendencies.
true. And a couple of other subscribers have done that too on the channel. They said that I was once that too. Oh no, you never. Yeah, I'm. You know what? I like you. I like what you're doing, but I'm unsubscribing because I can't go with that. I'm like, okay, so you really showing me that you still in your karmic. I mean, you got to. That's half of the battle. Is what we're in this twin flame community. Our problem is us admitting our wrongs, what we
Yeah.
did. like you about the karmic thing situation. I can remember to the day where I stood up in the front middle of the floor and I said, I can't handle him. I can't handle him. Somebody else got to come in here and teach him. Somebody else got to get, and then lo and behold, 24 hours, I didn't know Spirit was cooking us. So, oh, I got just the one for you. You called it in. And they said, it like they say, scene two, in walks the karmic.
Yep.
What the hell? This that damn food.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, is there some way I can tell her that she's fired and we no longer need her? Because if I
Hmm.
call her in, I should be able to tell her to call her on out, right?
Yeah.
But it's like,
Just got, and I've had the same thought, and I mean, I've written to her. Um, Thank you, Kathy. I've written to her. I've released her. I have over the last month stopped giving her so much grace
yes,
because that giving her so much grace, I started noticing it was giving her a little bit more power over our connection, and I
yes,
have released that.
oh,
Because does come a time when you can love their soul, but not like what their 3D avatar is doing.
yes,
And
Lord.
if they keep, and I know she sees the signs. She is on 5D a lot. The only issue is that it gets mixed up for her as mental issues, and a lot of the people around her push that too.
Okay.
But I know she sees the signs, and sometimes when she's approached me, I've gotten clear, signals from source from her that she sees the signs. She knows what's going on. She knows who he and I are. She knows who she is.
Okay.
But her fear is still holding her there. And
Right.
that's when I was like, okay, I've got to stop giving her grace. I can love her from afar. I can love her soul, but I don't like what she's doing right now.
Right. Okay. I hear somebody saying time jumping. What do you mean? How can you give grace? Because that grace can be given to your partner, your divine counterpart, and it can be given to the karmic as well. So what is the grace thing? I hear somebody say, what do you mean by grace?
It's just like I said, it's basically, everybody is a soul having a human experience. We're a soul wrapped up in an avatar, meat suit, whatever you want to call it. It's saying I love their soul. I love them on the 5D. In the 3D, I'm placing my boundaries. I'm
Right.
not gonna let them talk to me like this. I'm not gonna let um them run roughshod over me. And every situation is different. Like, for us, she came in, not that, I came in. And
Right.
every situation is different, but in all aspects, giving grace is just loving their soul. And if you have to, leave it at that.
Okay, okay. Right. And because in some ways I also picture like grace is like you almost like a shield, like, okay, my love will cover and it kind of like bounces it off. And so it's like, no, you don't get all of the energy or whatever, the bad stuff,
Hmm.
whatever towards them as far as karmic
Yeah.
like that. But like you said, they will contact you. They kind of out with their power. They don't know how they can use it. Sometimes they use it and they kind of tap in to see what's happening with you negatively, or sometimes they tap into you, see what's happening with you positively too. I know for a
Hmm.
while she was coming over and telling me that he wasn't treating her right, and I was like, well, I can't really do nothing about that. So you're gonna have to kind of go back on over go back over there with that and handle that
Hmm.
situation because that's what you signed up for. I said, I told you I'm ready when you are, just hand them over. And you don't
Yep.
want to keep holding on to it. So, and every time she comes, I just tell her, I say, I told you, I'm ready when you are.
With
Okay.
ours, it's
Uh huh.
crazy because for over 25 years of he and I in and out, in and out, in and out, I never, even on our separations, I never dreamed of him. Never had a dream of him. And when all this started happening, it was actually her that came in first in 5D dream state.
Wow.
And I'm going, why am I dreaming about her? And that started right away.
Okay.
And
Okay.
it was her coming in first. And actually, out of, let's see, I think there's been, I want to say 12 um, regarding the connection.
Mm-hmm.
Only 4 of them have been my DM. The rest of them have been her. She has come in and shown me when they were fighting. There was one time I woke up and it was crazy because she had a knife. She was showing me a knife. She had stabbed him like this. Um,
Okay.
yeah, it was crazy. And well, it wasn't a knife. I'm sorry. It was a pin. It was a blue pin right
Okay.
here.
Okay.
And I woke up and I text my sister-in-law and I'm texting her. I'm, adrenaline running and I knew it was 5D. And I'm going, what in the world was I just shown? And I'm like,
Right.
I had this crazy dream, da 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 da. But I didn't tell her about the dream. I just told her
Okay.
that it was crazy and my adrenaline was going. An hour later, she texts me back. She says, oh, yeah, she tried to stab him in the throat with a knife today. And I went, and I mean, things like that. She would
Right.
literally come in and show me. She came in and showed me, how he looked at her, how he truly saw her.
Okay.
Um, the things that I needed to heal, that I needed to work on, because I was having issues, with jealousy and stuff in regards to them and things that I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't seeing. Because I had that abundance of love for her, I wasn't seeing other things,
Okay. Got
which
you.
we tend to do with our DMs too.
True.
And she came in and showed me that were, things that I needed to heal and stuff. And I was mad at first when I was shown that. I'm like, really? Seriously? And then I realized it took me a little bit. It took me a couple of weeks. And then I went back to it because I always, type them up. I got a notepad on my
Mm.
phone and I went back to it. I was like, oh, that's what you were showing me. Okay.
Okay. Right.
But yeah, it's primarily been her that has come in and given
Okay.
me information.
Wow. Yeah. No, it has been him. She comes in sporadically. Sometimes I can sit and say, "What's this? What's going on?" As you tell me something about going on with him a little bit, but and not in as in depth like that because I guess I keep on putting guard up there. Like I don't want to hear it. Keep that stuff on y'all side. I don't want to hear it. Or whatever like that. But yeah, but I mostly have gotten information from other people. Like she'll come in and tell them, and then that's how I kind of get word of what's going on between the both of them. But like I said, I'm glad that you showed and also backed up and confirmed, like I said, about the karmics and their role as well, because that is one. Some of them, yes, they earned their bad rap. Some of them have not are not like they say they're doing their job and they were
Mhm.
asked to do that because some of them are part of the soul group too. And like I said, they sign on. It's like, okay, well, next time, lifetime soul contract, I'll come in and I'll play the role as the villain, although we were best friends last
Yeah.
soul lifetime. And so now this time when I come in, I'm gonna play the villain. It's like,
Yep.
okay, I'm gonna help you all get back together. That's cool, cool.
Yep.
So that's why I say, you don't know really the backstory of what's going on with these karmics. Yeah, I know, and I've heard the gamut. I've heard it, and I understand. Yeah, they don't get no gold medal or no, or some of them look like they need to get a lot. You know
But
what?
we got to remember too, some of us, especially if you went through dark night with your person, we don't get no gold medal either.
That's true.
we did some
Yeah,
toxic things.
right, right.
Yeah.
It goes back, right. That you were the one that helped me to understand. Like you called the end. I said, I sure. Oh my gosh, she's right. I listened to you. I said, I called. Oh Lord, I called that in. Sure.
Hmm.
Uh huh. And that way. So I just say thank you publicly for you to help me to kind of make that shift in understanding that. So let's move on to another topic because I can feel like and I also let me say this: I invoke the violet flame over anybody that got a little kind of triggered, but us talking about that subject. But it needed to be talked about, and she did it in a loving way, not those other ways that everybody uses. So what is this thing about this new dynamic of family? This is your thing that you're really advocating about on your channel about the family and the children and everything. Can you kind of talk to us and tell us a little bit more about what is spirit or source brought to you about this new dynamic of family?
Okay. It goes back to my mom. She raised my sister and I. Um, that family's not blood.
Okay.
Um, but she did it in a way without, I didn't even realize that it had happened until, like in the last year, I realized what a big dynamic she played in this, in my purpose. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I remember growing up, if we had a boyfriend or something like that, even if it was for a month, if that month fell on a holiday, they got a gift, you know.
Okay.
She was always kind. And if she saw them out and about, even after we broke up, she would always acknowledge them. you know, with both my DM and my soulmate, you know, she calls them, those are her sons, you know. Doesn't
Okay.
matter, you know, how I was back and forth, you know, and everything. She always included both of them. And for on my soulmate side, he had to learn the aspect that family isn't just blood, and that family loves unconditionally, regardless of the situation and the circumstances, because that's something that he's been dealing with his family. It's been, you know, it's a huge block with all of his relationships. And I found out recently it was a huge block with his counterpart. Um,
Okay.
so yeah, who's hopefully coming back in soon. Um,
Take
but
him off my hands, please.
yes, I cheer for my karmic.
Please take him. Okay. All right.
um, but either way, the whole aspect is okay. One thing, all right, we're talking about rules. The
Mm-hmm.
only hard, fast rule, and this has been brought to me over and over and over again, is unconditional love. That's the purpose, is raising the frequency of Gaia, and that includes the human collective, not just the twin flame or the ascension collect. There's no, we put labels on everything and it kind of, you know, divvies everything up, but we are a human collective,
Mm-hmm.
a living body of souls.
Right.
And the whole purpose is bringing that higher frequency. The only way to do that is unconditional love. And yes, there are people that are, you know, in this lifetime, in every lifetime, you know, we have villains.
Mm-hmm.
They serve a purpose. But even those that do you wrong, those who do other people wrong, it's giving them that grace and that unconditional love to understand that they are a soul having a human experience. You don't have to like what they did. You don't have to condone what they did, but give them grace.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, with that, that starts helping with the family dynamic and everything, because especially if you're in and out with your person. And I saw a post today, so I'm gonna make an example out of that. She posted, she said, you know, my 19-year-old son who lives with me is concerned because my TF and I are talking again, and he's afraid I'm gonna get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something, you know, that we have to look at when we have children that are in and out of this dynamic, whether they're with your counterpart or with a soulmate or, you know, whomever. Children see this.
Yes.
They
I know.
see the in and out.
Yes.
And yes, as an adult, we have, you know, we might, there are children, so we kind of want to give them an answer. Technically, they're an adult, so it's really none of their business, but we love them. So we want to give them an answer. And the
Mm-hmm.
answer is, I'm teaching you that there's grace and unconditional love. I'm teaching you that when people find themselves, when their soul comes up and their ego starts shedding and they find who they truly are, they come back a different person.
Mm-hmm.
And by being able to do that and teach our children that and everything, they learn that, you know, the dynamic of unconditional love and giving grace. And it's a domino effect. And not only is it a domino effect down, it's a domino effect back, because we're also clearing ancestral lines of that.
Right. Right.
So, um, within the family dynamic, a lot of the twin flames will notice that they have babies, kids, whatever, by other people, not only their counterparts, but by other people. So then you've got step this, step that, you know, and this, that, and the other. And one of the things that always kind of, and it's grated on me from day one, I had our oldest daughter at 17. And I can remember hearing, you know, oh, my baby daddy doesn't do this, and trash talking and this, that, and the other, everything else. And if you look at it from a higher perspective, you know, you're kind of sitting back looking at it going, what, wait a minute, I saw you do this and you did this and then they did that, you know, and
Right.
coming out of that, you know, we,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
it's the aspect of coming out of that and everybody working together. It takes a village,
Right.
everybody coming together, the steps and the, you know, step brother, step sister, step parents, and everything else. And what's been shown to me, it's crazy because I can see, and it's like a hallelujah moment for me because it's like looking up, being up and then looking down and seeing all these family members, and they're not made by blood. It's like a tribe, and you're,
Uh-huh.
whoa, that's awesome, that's beautiful, that's beautiful, that's beautiful, and it just boom, 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 and it grows and it grows and it grows to where, guess what? We're what we were the whole time, all family.
Gotcha. I gotcha. Yeah. You brought up a point, I hope I remember, that about which was different because I had not looked at the aspect when you're saying about I'm a child, a product of twin flames too. And like you said, when they have that in and out, as my interlude said, we've been in and out, in and out, in and out of time, in and out of love. And you doing that, and as a product of looking at that, the negatives or the shadow of that, because everything has a shadow, and positive
Mhm.
would be like I got crossed in the crossfire of both of
Yeah.
them, seeing that going back. But you just gave me an aha moment again. See, that's why I love you. Gave me an aha moment of looking at it more so that not look at them battle, but look at the times that my mom had showed me unconditional love of the giving of grace to my dad of going
Mhm.
back and forth, but still knowing how to healthy boundaries. But it still helped me to kind of be able to have patience, have empathy, about the whole situation, about my partner, where they're coming from, of being able to see both aspects as well. But that's interesting twist I didn't look about it. She was teaching me grace and unconditional love. That was I swear, a aha moment for me to look at it then, because I have been looking at it for negative, but not the positive. And it was like, well, you define sunshine, but honestly, I had not had put it in that way that she had taught me that. And that's true. And I guess that's why in some ways I'm patient and understanding. I can use grace and unconditional love with my divine masculine in ways that nobody, even the ones that even say that they're spiritual and they understand it, they still don't
Yeah.
because I could tell the way they talk to me. And I was like, you still don't get why I'm giving him this grace. You still don't understand why I'm giving him this unconditional love. He's stepping all over, and it's not about that. It's like, okay, I'm gonna give you enough space for you to find yourself, and while you're doing that, I'm gonna do the same. And I can stem that back to my mom, her showing me that with my dad. Okay, to forgive, to show unconditional love when he was doing things as well. So, like I said, it's only one thing that she didn't missing ingredients, but the overall story was that. So
Yeah.
I got that. I
And,
got
and
that.
I think with that, because see, watching you and everything, watching your videos and stuff, the unconscious just became conscious because it's come up in your videos. You just
Right.
weren't, it wasn't there. You weren't,
There, right,
yeah,
right,
yeah,
right. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Because I'm like, you kind of, but I didn't put it in that context.
yeah.
It's more tangible and more concrete. It was
Mhm.
more abstract. It was weaved in there, but it was like, this is what she taught. It's not the negative aspect of it. You need to look at the also the positive of
Yeah.
the light of that all. So yeah, I mean, that was just really just aha moment. And it was something else that you had said about the family, right? And we're coming to the amen that we are one. That's one of the things they want us while we're moving into this Aquarius period of understanding that the blood, how about blood is thicker than water. It's not going to be that. It could be water, spirit,
Yeah.
air, whatever. Light is family.
Yeah.
We're getting away from that old paradigm and templating of believing that the blood is it, because
Yeah.
to be honest with you, everybody walk around. There's some people walking in family that say I can't stand them. I
Mhm.
can't stand them.
Yeah.
I can't stand them.
Yeah.
Like it's no difference with that. So yes, that is where we're coming from. And I think about a lot of them showing this new term with Jada Pinkett. She's always on the cutting edge about things about bonus mom. She's the one that coined that term. And instead of you call me stepmom, call me bonus mom. I'm just extra mom, ears or eyes to give you advice about that. And so then same thing, just like with me and my twin. I forgot who started it. Was him? He started it. Our kids. He did, and then I stepped on in, and then I yanked it from him, and I said, "Yeah, our kids." And then before you know it, it's just a natural thing. Our kids,
Mhm.
our
Yeah.
this. Our kids need this. They need our kid is doing this now. Okay, and it's
Mhm.
not force thing. It's just like right on into that,
Mhm.
into that. So yeah, they know, and he's not knowing about the twin flame or understanding this is a regular one that just saying, yeah, he can adopt it. And some about him, he say on a deeper level, I don't know what it is, but that feels right saying that. Our kids.
Yep.
That
Yeah.
part. So yeah, so that one. Back to the rules thing, and we'll wrap it up. The rules.
Um,
Yeah, okay,
I
go on.
wanted to, sorry, with the kids,
Okay.
I keep, okay. You know the situation with our youngest son. Um, a little background for those that don't. He is a connecting energy between his father and I.
Mm-hmm.
On any given day, I can pretty much gauge what's happening with my DM emotionally by our son.
Okay.
Um, having said that, in regards to the kids, and I don't know who needs to hear this because so far our dynamic is pretty singular as far as I've seen. It's hard coming. Okay, I see the pain that our son has gone through because of what's happened within the last year. There's been a disconnect between his father and him. Our
Oh,
son is 16, so he can pick up a phone as well as his father can. Both are kind of refusing to, in a way. Um, and this whole time, I have defended my beloved.
okay.
Anytime with any of the kids, you know what, your dad's healing. That's been my mantra. Your dad is healing.
Okay.
Your dad is healing. Um, but I've sat on a fence, and it's hard as a parent sitting on a fence, loving somebody to the core of your being, your very soul, while watching, a child being hurt by that same person, even if it is, unconsciously, and, they don't even realize that they're doing it
Okay.
because they're so blinded by their own pain. We've got
Right.
to remember that people get blinded by their pain. But somebody's needing to hear this. Um, you can love your counterpart and still defend your child with them. You're not choosing one over the other. And I don't know why, but I mean, I know for the longest time I did feel like that. I felt like, I'm choosing my counterpart over my son's pain, and I just, it was like a teeter totter. I was back and forth, defending them both, choosing them both,
Mm-hmm.
sitting there, we were wobbling and everything. And I had to come out of that. And I just really strongly feel like somebody else is going through the same dynamic and they need to hear that you can love both of them. You don't have to feel
Right.
guilty about defending your counterpart, knowing that they are healing or whatnot, and trying to explain that to your child. So whoever that's for,
Right. And that could be twin flame, a regular divine lover,
yeah,
or just a regular
true.
average lover.
Yeah.
I mean, good advice this across the board about that, because I know a lot feel kind of guilty about that. Well, I'm choosing them over them, and really the way they're acting, it don't seem like they can back it up. It's like, why are you doing that? But you like, yeah, again, that's practicing and showing and demonstrating unconditional love again too.
Hmm.
Well, and showing the honoring too as well,
Yeah.
both sides, because they need to see that, especially when they're young,
Yeah.
too. That you're defending, like, yeah, but I'm, you defending me against daddy, yeah, so they need to kind of see that too as well. About the rules thing, how
Mhm.
did you come up with the rules there? What inspired you about that? It doesn't matter about. I'll let you explain because I don't want to get
Okay.
more.
Hold on, let me get a drink.
Okay.
Okay. Um, back to the gifts. One of them is written word. Um, mission helping people. Um, I had it was a while back, a session with paranormal priestess, Elizabeth, and she
Okay.
kept telling me that one of my gifts I was doing already. And I was like, what are you talking about? Because it was when mission was all up in the air. I didn't know, what was going on. And she kept saying, every time you interact on social media, you are in mission. And
Okay.
I was like, okay, well, then it took me a little bit. Sometimes I'm a little bit slow on the uptake. um,
We all are.
um, but I realized because I don't know, I hadn't been on like Facebook in a little bit, and then when I get on there after a week or so, I see all these so and so replied to this, and I went back and I said, oh my gosh, I replied to this and this, and all of them were, oh wow, I hadn't thought of that, I didn't realize that, and I went, oh.
Mm.
um and one of the major things that I kept coming across, whether it was leaders, with groups or
Okay.
people within groups saying, well, no, people would say, well, this and this happened. I don't know if they're my counterpart. I'm kind of, teetering on the edge that this happened. And people would post all these rules. Well, if, one of the major things was toxicity. If there's any toxicity, your twin will never, ever, ever hurt you. Never say anything mean to you. Never this, that, and the other. And I'm kind of going, okay, I've been through this because I went through that, that worrying that I was wrong and this, that, and the other. Because of that, because we did go through dark night together. And it took Lee and Sherry watching one of their videos and everything to realize, okay, yeah, evidently I'm not the only one.
Right.
But yeah, and it was other things. It was, they can't be your twin if you have never met them in 3D. That there will always be an age gap, that you'll always be able to feel them no matter what. You'll always be
Mm.
able to hear them, feel them. There will be instant telepathy. There will be instant this, instant that the minute you meet them, you will awaken and ascend. I thought that one was funny. I'm sitting there going,
That's hilarious. Yeah.
I'm counting the decades. Oh, um,
Right. Yeah.
but
I'm
yeah,
counting the years. When it's gonna happen. Okay.
but while going over these, when something doesn't, when it hits you to the core and it's sitting in there and it starts gnawing at you and you're going, this is wrong. This
Right.
is wrong. And you don't want to rock the boat. You don't want to give anybody bad advice or whatever. But you keep getting told, told,
Mhm.
speak, say something. And so I would go, I would read what they would say and I would ask, what am I supposed to tell them? And I would let my clear channel clear, go through it.
Okay.
And when I started doing that, when I started listening to the higher guidance and doing what I was supposed to be doing, that's when it started coming up. The downloads that started coming in were all these rules have kept people, waves before, from union over and over and over again, because people would give up on the journey, the adventure, because none of the rules were applying to them.
Right.
People were going into therapy for obsessive impulsive control and getting on medications, which would dampen, their connect with spirit. I mean, all these, I was given so many, it was like bam, 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 all these different scenarios of things that have happened with different counterparts. And I'm going, oh my gosh, and here are these people, they're out there teetering, in the ocean right now
Mhm.
without their anchor. And it's all because somebody told them that there are rules to this, and there's not. The only rule is unconditional love, self and of others. That's what it all boils down to, because that's the whole process of the journey. That's what we're getting to.
Right. That's what Jesus says. The greatest thing of all is, I know it's love, but then also is that the golden rule: love thyself as thy neighbor, and love thy neighbor as thyself as well too. And that's kind of almost
Yeah.
going into that, which is, again, like I said, the rules is the only thing is just to really just to stay in your heart space. I mean, to really act and check in. Of course, yeah, you can back it up with your mind as well, but that heart, that is really, if you can do a discernment of it, it does not steer you wrong.
Yeah.
as far as that does not steer you wrong. And a lot of people, like you said about these rules, they really limit you. They make
Yeah.
it impossible, impossible by
Yeah.
listening with that. I get so many questions like, should I call him? They say don't call him because you're supposed to encourage that push and pull. And I like, okay, so how you feel about that? Well, I feel miserable. Okay, well,
Hmm.
if that's not what you should be doing right
Yeah.
now, call him. If he don't answer back, you got your answer. Well, I
Yeah.
did what I wanted to, and that's what made me happy. And don't attach to the results. And
And if you get
this
triggered, there's a reason for it.
right, that is
It's on you.
let me go back to the drawing board and see what is it that I need to go back and revisit again. Is it
Yeah.
rejection, abandonment issues, or
Hmm.
that ego again? Because it should be just really, if you're really at a point of just a place of just being, as Twin Flame All Star said, and that's one thing I say, and you just being,
Hmm.
then say I called, and that's
Yeah.
what I did, and that's it. And we move.
Oh,
And let me go on and watch my Netflix because I did it.
yeah.
Okay, that's on you.
That's
So you
another thing that
you just like
trips them up. The just being like, I believe it's All Stars. Yeah. There was a
yeah,
big
it's him.
thing, people talking about mission and everything. And that was when I first came into this. Let me tell you, for the first, until I found you guys, I'm not going to name who, first popped up for me. I mean, she did me a world of good. I needed a hard
Right.
kick in the booty. I did, but there were some things and that actually started bringing me down because I started freaking out and obsessing about them. And one of the things was mission.
Hmm.
Hearing over and over again, get a mission, get a mission, get a mission. Sometimes mission is just being.
Right. That's the mission. Sometimes mission is finding your bliss.
Mm-hmm.
The mission.
Yep.
Right. Everything else is followed. Because if you're going to go after your bliss or just being, if you're being yourself, well, you're like, I'm a person, I can't sit down. I got to help somebody out.
Mm-hmm.
I got to help somebody. Okay. Then it flows out. Well, what can I do? Okay, I talked to Bonita. I like to talk. She's like, okay, well then, why don't you create a YouTube channel about what you know about this twin? Yeah, let me do that. And then before you know it, you what? You have stumbled on into what? Mission, because your
Mm-hmm.
thing of being is to help people. It's going to lead you.
Mm-hmm.
Naturally, it's going to guide you as to what your next thing. So, like you say, it shouldn't be no going over. And I same thing. I've said the same thing. I told the person too as well. I for what it is that she did, the foundation and get me started. I still to this day, and if she would contact me today, I would say thank you for that.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, after that, it was time, just like everything, just like Jesus. It's time
Yeah.
for you to kind of go out there and disciple and do your own thing. Jesus didn't tell them to stay with me forever, but
Yeah.
it's like go out there. Then, although he died, but that's beyond the point. The thing was to go out there and spread the teachings. That is it. So my thing is, so yeah, no, she did her job, and I do say, and I thank her. So
Yeah.
you feel that energetically wherever she at, that's it, and that's all. But like I said, then I had to figure out I got to do it my way because again, what you say, we got to go back to being just what being.
Being.
Not being saying that I've got to put my own twist to something, then that's it. And then we just go on from there. But like you said, we that mission. And like I'm with Twin Flame All Stars. We missed the mark trying to get into that. That frustrated us. When I'm
Yep.
supposed to know it? What am I supposed to be doing? Can you do the cards to tell me what's my mission and purpose? And I'm so glad we got out of that thing. Uh
Mm-hmm.
Doing that because that was driving me batty. I was like, Lord, I hope I'm telling these people right, which I know it was. That's ego. But my thing is like, them doing that, I'm trying to get into my mission. You'll naturally get into
Mm-hmm.
you really will. You naturally will get into
Yeah.
that. It,
Mine got put Mine got put on hold for what, 9 months? I swear, it's crazy. I was joking with Kathy D because there's times when it's like call waiting. You'll hear, hold please.
oh
And I kept bringing it up, and that's the reason why I kept bringing it up to source, and they kept saying, hold please.
That's too cute. That's too cute. You're right. You're right. You're right. They will do that. Even when I do readings on people, it's like, nope, ain't the time to do them right now. Okay. And they call me, have you finished with my, how you doing? I just want to know, you finished with my reading yet? And I'm like, now see, you done put me in a pickle with this person. They asked me about this. You the one told me to hold, please. Now you
Yeah.
go ahead and tell them to hold, please. I'm like, okay, but thank God they always love it. Like, okay, I just wanted to know, did you get my money and stuff? Is everything all right? So I'm like, Lord, see, now this is your fault that I'm in this pickle like here with these people. Because you talk about hold, please. I understand it. They don't understand it. But you're right. It will tell you to hold on.
Yeah.
It's not right. They want every moving piece. They got to be ready for the right ears to hear what you got to
Hmm.
say. Everything gets and that's the same thing, like you say about that, even with going back to our beginning of the conversation with the divine counterparts with their karmics. Again, sometimes they got to wait until all those moving pieces get
Hmm.
in place for them to be able to. So the karmic is one of the moving piece that helps them to say, okay, now I'm ready to move on to the divine feminine or the divine masculine as well. So everything has a time. That's what we say about divine timing, though. I know a lot of people don't like that word. That's like saying karmic, but at the same time, it's needed because it helps us to know how the flow of things and how everything us even getting into mission is another thing. You have to wait for divine timing because
Hmm.
it's like, again, other people might be waiting on you to do something. So somebody might say, oh, I want to create a family, and they need to hear something just right from you, Bonita, for them to be able to go on ahead and say, oh, okay, now I don't feel bad he got other kids. Now
Yeah.
that's why I feel like they're my kids. So we're
Yeah.
like the Brady Bunch all over again. I know y'all laughing, but we're all together with that. And so that's a good way of, them saying to feel. They needed to hear that. They had to sit
Hmm.
down at 7:40, whatever, 7:15 or 8:15 or 9:15 tonight to hear that and say, oh,
Hmm.
well, I can create this family. I'm ready. So, it's this at the right time, at the right place, at the right space. This
And
has
these kids will be created when they need to be created. It doesn't matter what. There's a Kids are divinely timed because
right.
they're needed too.
They're needed too. There you go. All right, then I like that. That is true. So you don't have to even worry about it. Say, okay, all right, just go ahead and say, I'll be a willing channel and a willing participant to be a caregiver for this soul. So whenever
Mhm.
you decide to bless me with that, then I'm ready, and they're
Yeah.
ready too at the same time. So as we kind of wrap on up, is there some things? What would you tell? Because I'm on my channel. I'm also targeting the newbies. Is there some recipe or some kind of things or advice that you say, hey, this is, if I knew I can do this all over again as a newbie on this thing, what would be something that you would tell yourself back then starting out about this journey that they need to know in order to be effective or successful or whatever?
If it sits in your solar and your sacral like a rock,
Okay.
you need to examine it
Okay.
because that means it's not resonating with you. It's not resonating with what is supposed to resonate with your soul. And
Okay.
everybody, it's going to be different. And then there's something, well, then there's a lot of things that for everybody, it's going to be the same. It's just going to come in different.
Okay.
But if it's sitting there like a rock in your stomach and you're feeling panicky over it, you need to examine it. There's a reason for it. Don't give in to that panic. Follow your intuition. Above all things, follow your intuition. And if you're worried, like I was, because for a long time there, and part of it stemmed from things that happened with my counterpart, knowing what I know and then kind of being told, no, that's not happening, you start doubting yourself. And that can happen at any point in your life. It doesn't even have to come from your counterpart. If you ever start doubting your intuition, when you start with ascension or, soul recognition or whatever, your ego kind of steps in that protective mode. Oh no, remember, so and so told you were crazy and this, that.
Mm-hmm.
If you have trouble distinguishing at first what is ego and what is your intuition, ask for help. I am big about asking for signs. I'll be like, okay, I promise this is the last one I'm gonna ask for, but it's not, because that's what they're there for. They're there to help, to guide us. And not only are we asking for help from source, but we're asking for help from our higher selves, both our counterparts who's here with us and, ours, which is over there with them. Not really over there, there, just let's just say there.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, in essence, we're asking for our soul to give us the higher guidance. For me, and this is going to sound weird, but I was standing out on the porch one day and I saw leaves falling, and I was really trying to distinguish, was it ego or my intuition on some of the things that I was working on, some of the things that I felt were coming in. I'm like, okay, I know I'm probably asking for trouble with this, but when I go into ego, please drop something on my head. Just make sure it doesn't give me a concussion, and I'll be doggone. I got shown when it was ego, and
Okay.
so, I mean, you can ask for help if you're having trouble with it, but just always, always follow your guidance inside.
Yes, that's right, and it comes in different forms, like you said. They'll show you signs as
Hmm.
well, so it doesn't matter the inner child, or you can use that, or guides, angels, ancestors too.
Hmm.
They'll come and they will guide you as well, and to help you to understand what's your next steps to do as well. I was trying to see, was there anything? Is there anything else you want to give the any kind of final thoughts or final words as well, Spirit? Because I know it usually chime in and tell you, tell them this, tell them they got the floor now, okay? They got the floor now. This time, don't do like the frog in the cartoon where it say, "Sing for them." You're like, ribbit, ribbit.
Um, it's not coming from source. It's coming from my DM. He's going, "Bleh."
Okay,
Patience.
okay,
He keeps saying patience. um, in family aspect, as with the rest of this connection, patience. Because when you're putting two families together or you're starting a family, regardless how it comes about, family itself in general, always you need patience.
okay, okay. Gotcha. That's words to live by. Right there, that's words. He's right. Not even putting family, putting your own self together.
Mhm.
Take patience and putting it come together with your counterpart. Patience.
Yep.
Oh yeah, dealing with family. Patience. So I can say amen to that. Amen, amen, amen. I'm in total agreement with that. So okay, so again, if you want any more information from our own here, Bonita from A Wave of a Beautiful Warrior, you can go to Divine Light Rising at Gmail. Is that right? Or are you different? Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, I got it right. Okay, thank you. I'm like, I got so many down. I'm like, wait, is that right? Okay, Divine Light Rising at gmail.com. Be quiet, Kathy. I hear you laughing on this video. Don't be slick. So anyway, Divine Light Rising at gmail.com as well to get more good information. That she has our own channel as well. I just told you, Wave of a Beautiful Warrior as well. Do you haven't got your website yet up yet either? Is there any kind of like counseling? I mean, what things can, if somebody say, well, I would like to come to you and help me, do you have anything set up for that, like counseling on setting up a new family, or somebody that's got a dynamic like you talk about, and they say, oh, I like to talk to her? Do you have anything like that?
Um, I haven't set anything up yet. I'm
Okay,
still using the Wix app, the
okay,
WIX, the app.
okay,
I also have my email there.
okay,
Or if somebody wants to message me on one of the videos, hey, I'd like to talk to you or whatever. I do have a friend, another soul sister, who is helping me get stuff set up and everything. So
okay.
that will be coming.
Yeah, because I'm hearing some like family life coaching, family coaching, or something like that. For you, like a counselor. Like they say, okay, well, I'm trying to bring in both and the spiritual together. How would you give me advice in doing that? So I seen that also while I'm talking to you. Is that is a way of a family coach, family thing, not therapist, but counselor, family counselor, or something like that. Divine thing. So yeah, and it's out there for you because you see everybody, like I said, I always think about Will and Jay. They got their issues, but anyway, they're out there and they have an interesting, unique, out of the
Hmm.
box family dynamic, and that's the only one that I can see of. It's probably others, but I know celebrity wise that I've seen that has kind of run on that template as well.
I've seen one of hers. I'm gonna have to go check it out because I love the bonus mom aspect, and like
Yeah,
both of my girls, well, our girls, and then also with my stepdaughter, it's always been like with my second daughter there, with her stepmom, I call her mom, that's my daughter's mom. Hey mom,
Right,
same with my oldest, and people will kind of look at us strange, like, aren't you their mom? But yeah, they've
right.
invested in my kids. They've earned that title.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
true.
So I like that term, bonus mom.
Yeah, they called a bonus mom. And I was like, oh, that is neat. All right. So again, if you like what we're doing on this channel, make sure that you click like and share and subscribe. I probably will be doing this simulcast. I'll drop it on Divine Unisource 11 too. And then I'll also put it on Divine Matters of the Heart as well, the sister station channel as well, because I think they both benefited. We covered a lot of some stuff that the Divine, I'll
Mhm.
call it my realist channel, will get their teeth into, and then also my unicorn channel would like to hear about that too as well. So thank you so very much for taking time out. She's a teacher too, and so I know as well as she's like coming straight home, getting the kids ready. She's like, okay, well, let's do this. So again,
Yep.
so thank you so very much, and thank you so much for giving me that aha moment. I sincerely mean that, of looking at it from a more positive aspect about mom and what she brought to the table and the gift she gave me also, as well as by seeing them doing practicing unconditional love. So thank you so very much. Mwah!
I'm hearing your mom and your dad.
Yeah,
We're so proud of you.
yeah.
They're
Oh,
echoing together, their voices entwining. And I've never heard your dad's voice, but he sounds very handsome, very distinguished.
he is. That's my daddy. I said, you such a daddy's girl. You done became more now than ever. I can't All right then. Thank you so very much. And as always, do you have a sign off for your show? What do you say for your sign off?
Just continue to ride the wave.
Okay, all right. I'm holding this thing here at the same time. I'm scared it's gonna go. I'm just like, because I'm trying to update this thing here and keep it charged. But anyway, as always, stay uplifted, stay motivated, stay ascended. Mama, stay. Now I'm going. Love you all. All right. Until next time, we probably might have her back on. If she come on with nothing good, something good, she'll be back on here on the Bastards of Love too show again too. All right then. Until next time. See ya.
Bye.